Hello everyone. In today's prehistoric animals in TV series slash documentaries we're going to be doing is Life on Our Planet. An American television nature documentary released on Netflix and produced by Albalian Television and Silverback Films. Executive producer by Steven Spielberg and narrated by Morgan Freeman. The series focuses on the evolutionary history of complex life on Earth. Upon its release, the series received generally mixed reviews with praises for its visual effects, cinematography, soundtrack, and scale. It was released on October 25th, 2023. While the official trailers was released on September 26th, the series consists of 8 episodes and was released on October 25. The series includes a hybrid of both computer generated imagery and live footage videograph. Now, it does, however, have criticisms for its perception, format, script, and inaccuracies of prehistoric life. Which he described as hyperbolic in treating billions of animals in the same broad biological grouping as if they were an army or a sports team enjoying success together, ultimately describing the series as an empty spectacle. Biologists Tim Rock and Matthew Wells, the conservation gave a more positive review, praising the series for its ambition and referring to it as hugely entertaining. Although it was accused of occasionally adopting adaptation for its narrative. So now with that done, let's get started on animals that appeared in the documentary. Alamosaurus is a genus of titanosaurian sauropod dinosaur that lived in the Yavala Formation of Texas and Ocho Alamo Formation of Mexico from 70 to 66 million years ago during the Maastrichtian stage of the Cretaceous. And it is the only sauropod known to have lived in North America after their 30 million year absent from the continent's fossil record, possibly representing an immigrant from South America, known as sauropod hiatus. Alamosaurus died out in the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event, making one of the last non-avian dinosaurs to ever walk on Earth. Their size and physiology. Alamosaurus is one of the largest, if not the largest dinosaur that ever lived in North America. Believed to have reached the sizes comparable to South American relatives like Argentinosaurus and Protosaurus. Recent estimates have since downsized the animal's size to be around 26 meters 85 feet long and having a weight of 38 metric tons, 42 short tons, which, although significantly smaller than previous estimates of 80 metric tons, 88 short tons, still making it the largest land animals at the end of the Cretaceous. Like other sauropods, Allosaurus one it was a gigantic quadrupedal herbivore with long neck and tail and pillar-like limbs, characteristics of its family. A discovery in 2015 revealed that the body of Allosaurus had covering of osteoderms, which is a trait of most saltosaurids. It is presumed that they were for protection against predators. Although the animal was already large enough to be practically invincible to all predators in its habitat. A skull of Allosaurus has never been found, so the head of the animal must be speculative from related sauropods, as well as rod-shaped teeth found in close proximity to the fossils that may belong to Allosaurus. And for paleoecology, it lived other animals like T-Rex that the two coexisted only in a latter's southwest range and not in a Hell Creek Formation as depicted in the show. Because there is no evidence, no fossil evidence if they ever reach the north. Because if they ever try to, because it's blocked by mountains which sauropods could not traverse there. Giant Astarchiid pterosaurs like Quetzalcoatlus, Torosaurus, and Cretosaurus, and the appearance of Allosaurus in the fossil record some 70 million years ago marked the end of the sauropod hiatus, a period in the North American fossil record with an absence of sauropod fossils for about 30 million years. Several theories have been forward to explain Allosaurus' sudden appearance in North America. 1. Migration from Asia. An already present sauropod exists in the continent and migration from South America. 2. Currently migration from South America is widely regarded as the only visible origin for Allosaurus. For their paleoenvironment, they are very common in the southwestern United States. In turn, Allosaurus' fauna is used to define a fauna of its place in time. The sauropod is most notably known from the Ocho Alamo Formation in New Mexico and the Jaffrellia Formation of Texas, as well as from North Horn Formation, Utah, Black Peaks Formation, also in Texas. The habitat of this dinosaur consists of semi-arid inland plains with water available intermittently in the form of lakes, swamps. In the series, the wetlands of the Allosaurus lived in bear a striking resemblance to the Jurassic wetlands of the Morrison Formation. Now, there are some errors, like Allosaurus is shown to be in the Hell Creek in the first episode in chapter 1. For one, they're only in the southwestern area, not in Hell Creek. And two, it is the Allosaurus is briefly shown to be galloping from a tsunami, which is impossible. Due to a heavy weight built in the leg's anatomy, Allosaurus cannot gallop. It's impossible. If they try to, they would injure themselves or break their legs. And three, the model lacks any form of body armor, but fossil evidence confirms that the animal did have osteoderms in its life. And fourth, as stated above, adult Allosaurus adults congregating in herds based on speculations. Allosaurus, a genus of large carnosaurian theropod from the late Jurassic. It is one of the more well-known dinosaurs that has attracted attention from general public, as well as one of the first giant carnivorous dinosaurs to evolve in North America, in the continent of North America. This one represents Allosaurus fragilis. Now, in the show, it was the largest land predator of its time. A. fragilis was about 8.5 meters, 28 feet on average, with the largest specimens, for example, AMNH 680, estimated at 9.7 meters, 32 feet long. In terms of weight, is quite large at 1.7 to 2.7 metric tons, 1.9 to 3 short tons, although not reaching a size comparable to later tyrannosaurs. Allosaurus was a large bipedal theropod with a light and robust skull equipped with dozens of serrated teeth, which were used for slicing through flesh of Jurassic herbivores like Stegosaurus and young sauropods. Relative to the rest of its body, its three-fingered hands were small, but may have still played a role in dismantling other creatures due to their powerfulness. Skin impressions from a mandible of an Allosaurus fossil shows that it has small scales, measuring 1 to 3 millimeter in diameter, covering its body, as well as the broad scutes on its neck. Studies of its skull show that the animal had a relatively weak bite force, although it possesses a very wide jaw gape to compensate for this. In fact, Allosaurus could open its jaw to a 79 to 92-degree angle, notably wider than T-Rex and most herbivorous dinosaurs. Two horns on top of its skull were extension of the lacrimal bones, may have used for display or combat, which is unlikely. For its paleoenvironment, Allosaur fossils are mostly found in the Morrison Formation, a sequence of late Jurassic sedimentary rock covering from most of the midwestern northern U.S. In the past, the area was semi-arid environment with distant wet and dry seasons. Common vegetation in the Morrison includes cycads, conifers, ferns, shrubs, and horsetails, most of which may have been food for the large sauropod dinosaurs in the region. In the series, the Morrison Formation was depicted as having a wide range of different habitats, from wetlands and floodplains to fern prairies. Allosaurs made appearances in both the wet habitat and the fern prairies hunting for Diplodocus. And for its paleoecology, Allosaurus is very common, known as the lion of the Jurassic, living alongside and preying upon herbivores, Stegosaurus, Camptosaurus, young Diplodocus sauropods. But it didn't have its food source all to itself. There were other predators that shared its environment with. The 10-meter long, 33 feet Torvosaurus, and the 7-meter long, 23 feet Ceratosaurus. These hunters may have avoided competition with each other through niche partitioning. Torvosaurus and Ceratosaurus may have hunted near wetlands and lower, thinner bodies that would have given them an advantage in the forest and underbush terrain. On the other hand, Allosaurus seems to have preferred dry floodplains because it was more compact and faster due to its longer legs, but less agile. And for hunting, Allosaurus's weak bite force has led some scientists to believe that it used its jaw like a hatchet, performing vertical strikes to slash flesh with its teeth and tearing it away without splintering bones. Biomechanical analysis of the skull revealed that it could withstand nearly 55,500 newtons of vertical force against the tooth row. A different, more likely hunting strategy was a neck-driven cutting bite similar to that of terror birds and saber-toothed, similar to Smilodon, in fact, that it had a strong neck muscle and a very wide gape, relying on these and its serrated teeth for slashing attacks against larger prey. It is presumed that Allosaurus may have had cooperative social behavior and hunted in packs, while others believe individuals may have been aggressive towards each other, because fossil evidence of Allosaurus's front snout with bite marks from its other species. And that congregating to this genus are results of lone individuals feeding on same carcasses. Behavior similar to Komodo dragons in situations where groups of Komodo dragons are eating together. The largest individuals eat first and will attack smaller ones that attempt to feed if the smaller animals is killed. It is cannibalized. Has possibly been observed in Allosaurus bone beds, and there is evidence of cannibalism in different specimens as well. And for its lifestyle, fossils of Allosaurus show that individuals live rough and violent lives. Stress, fractures, and of lesion injuries are common among bones, even more so than those of Tyrannosaurus and ornithomimids. These were certainly active hunters, as supported of U-shaped wound inflicted on a Stegosaurus neck plate that correlates well with the snout of Allosaurus and an Allosaurus tail vertebrae punctured by a thagomizer of a Stegosaurus that shows signs of healing. The individual featured was a reckless hunter approaching a herd of adult Apatosaurus without much concern for how dangerous the sauropod were, and subsequently got struck by one of their whip-like tails. Now, there are inaccuracies. The one that stands out is the design of the Allosaurus, including an undersized head, eyes facing too forwards, a long and skinny neck. gangling limbs, and skin covered in osteoderms, of which there are no evidence. The design seems to have been reused from Jurassic World, as the creators of the series have openly admitted for reusing the models from Jurassic Park franchise and editing them to make them more accurate. Thus, Allosaurus is visually inaccurate to how it would look in real life. Yeah, I do see the resemblance to the Jurassic World Allosaurus. And adult Diplodocus were much too large for even a fully grown Allosaurus to tackle. It is not likely that Allosaurus would have attempted to hunt them down as shown in Chapter 4, nor is it realistic that the two adult Diplodocus would have been frightened by a carnivore that attempted to flee. Like predators in modern day, predators would hunt an injured, sick, or an old individual, or the youngsters, as easy prey. Anchiornis is a genus of small, four-winged para-avian dinosaur from the Jurassic of China. It is known from hundreds of exquisitely preserved specimens, becoming the first Mesozoic dinosaur species for which almost the entire life appearance could be determined, and an important source of information of the evolution of birds. Anchiornis was a small bipedal theropod, about the size of a crow, and having many similarities to dromaeosaurids. The largest specimens measured 60 to 62 centimeters, 1.97 2.03 feet in length, and have a wingspan of nearly 57.4 centimeters, 1.88 feet, while the holotype belongs to the subadult or a young adult, measuring 34 centimeters, 1.12 feet long, and weighing about 110 grams, 3.9 ounces. The wings of Anchiornis were long and had three claw fingers, but the longest two fingers were bonded together by skin and tissue, so the animal was functionally two-fingered. The hind legs were also long, usually an indication of fast running. However, the large feathers on them may have hindered hindered the creature's running ability, landing in the landing leading to the conclusion that the long legs were simply vestigial traits. And for their feathers, had a long tail and limbs were all covered in narrow, veined feathers. The rest of its body was coated with two types of simpler downy feathers, while the long feathers on its head may have formed a crest. By studying melanosomes in Anchiornis fossils, scientists were able to map a specific color and patterning of the dinosaur. Its body feathers were gray and black. Its head feathers were rufous, reddish brown, and its wing feathers white with black tips. Ancient was possibly able to glide using its wings, holding out its arms and parachuting from an elevated area to the ground for fast locomotion or escape from predators. In the evolution of birds, a critical next step towards true flight was the ability to generate lift by flapping the wings rather than just passively gliding. Power flight was enormous benefits, such as being able to travel long distances, escaping predators, and exploiting airborne prey like insects. However, the extract reason for evolving flapping flight is still debated. Interestingly, some birds today are capable of flapping their wings backwards in such a way that they can push them downwards rather than upwards. Relatives of bird ancestors like Ancyornis had claws on its feet and may have used this combination for with backwards flapping to help them run up vertical surfaces like tree trunks. Normal flapping to generate lift may have begun to help these animals leap higher to catching flying insects, or perhaps just give them an extra little bit of distance while gliding. Ancient fossils were discovered in the Taoxian Formation of rocks in Liaoning, China during the Jurassic. The area was subtropical to temperate with a warm and humid climate. The landscape then was dominated by mountain, streams, and deep lakes, surrounded by forests of geosperm trees. And the composition of the some of the rocky layers there show that the area was volcanic, occasionally experiencing heavy ashfall from eruptions. Ancient lived alongside other bird-like dinosaurs like the bat-like Yi Chi and the Heterodontosaur, Taiyang, and the Magoraptoran and the Miniraptoran, Apodus like the forests that cover China today. Its environment was biodiversity hotspot teeming with a variety of different creatures, such as insects, pterosaurs, small reptiles, and mammals. Today, the rock beds contain some of the most detailed and beautifully preserved fossils on Earth. Ancyornis was depicted as a plunky animal, known to run to cliffs for escape against Cineraptor. Gliding away seems to have been a last resort option, since Ancyornis stood her ground for a short while against the larger carnivore at the cliff edge. Or perhaps she simply knew that escape was inevitable. Although it was featured as a cliff glider, it is not likely that Ancyornis could behave in this way, as it was not capable of powered flight. and would be unable to land safely among the dangerous. Ancient horses' complex color patterns are similar to those of modern birds, who use them in communication and display either for mating or territorial purposes, or to threaten competitors and predators. Given the close relationship between Anchiornis and birds, it may have behaved in a similar way. Now, for errors in 1. Anchiornis' body colors are known to have consisted of black and gray body feathers and the reddish head crest from the study of its melanosomes. However, the Anchiornis feature was mostly bluish gray with more orange red head crest, meaning that the colors of the dinosaur are inaccurate, even though the exact colors in known dinosaurs is known. And number 2, Anchiornis is not known to have coexisted with Sinraptor, as they both are from different formations, meaning they would have never met. However, they both lived in China at the same time, so it is possible that they live near each other. And also, in 2016, there's a study that disputed Anchiornis gliding, concluded that the adults of the genus are not likely to have glided as well. They were too heavy compared to their total wing area. Juveniles may have achieved sort of flight, but the age of the animal was not specified in the episode though. Gastric pellets from Anchiornis shown that the dinosaur ate small lizards and fish. However, it is still possible that it would have eaten insects as well. Onomalocaris is a genus of carnivorous radiodont, an extinct order of stem group of arthropods that were successful around during the Cambrian period, one of the largest in its time and place. It is notable for being one of the first apex predator of its ecosystem. Onomalocaris was a comparative meliciclode animal, but it was gigantic compared to other animals of its time. A complete specimen has been measured up to 20 to 5 centimeters, 8.1 inches